Hi, and welcome to this PowerDB Productivity Suite for Auto Recyclers demonstration. My name is Philip Claremont. I'm the co-owner of SolXD, the company behind PowerDB. This is me and my associate Jonathan. We have been in the recycling industry for myself 23 years and Jonathan 16 years. I was the IT manager at the largest Canadian auto recycler for 15 years from 97 to 2012. Jonathan was my employee back then from 2004 to 2012, and in 2012 decided to offer our knowledge of the software development side and also the auto recycling industry to all auto recyclers throughout a new product called PowerDB. PowerDB has been especially designed to fit with the PowerLink SQL database. We have been using that product for all of our career, doing custom reports and custom software for it. We will first focus on the real-time dashboards, offering you more than 250 widgets and graphs to choose from. And of course, everything is customizable to your needs. We will also go over the real-time sales tools, offering your sales staff their own dashboard, sales goals, sales commission calculation, sales monitoring, and alerts that are sent live, and also the sales summary that is sent automatically to whomever should get that information. We will also cover the real-time vehicle profitability tool, the real-time inventory tools, allowing your inventory staff to manage part location in real time, vehicle location in real time, inventory audit, and so on. And finally, the data management tool, which will allow you to update or create new parts within your PowerLink system right from an Excel spreadsheet, which makes things way more efficient than entering those parts one by one. PowerDB is a one subscription offer. It includes unlimited number of users, unlimited number of features, and we support everything. The whole concept behind PowerDB is the real-time awareness, basically having access to the right information at the right place, i.e. here and now. How does PowerDB work? Well, it is a web application. There are no client to install on any of your workstation. It is accessible from any device with a web browser, whether it is your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. We need to install it on a dedicated PC on your network. It is fully managed by us from the initial install to any future updates and any potential issues. It hosts the PowerDB database, the web server, the service, and it doesn't require a PowerLink license. That server stays in sync with your YMS, your PowerLink system, every minute. So every minute we pull any new information into our own database, and then that information is made available to you from within your internal network, or if you wish to, you can open that over the internet and basically have access to your live data feed from anywhere where you have internet access. Having said that, let's dive right into a live demo. Main PowerDB interface, basically the dashboard menu option. This is where all of your accessible dashboard will be displayed. PowerDB has, like we said, over 350 different charts and widgets to choose from. What you see here is the default dashboard that we ship with PowerDB, showcasing a couple of different angles you would want to see your business, revenue-wise, open delivery ticket, work order, quotes, part searches, sales and returns by day, sales and returns by salesperson. If you scroll a bit further down, there's a bunch of pie charts, bar charts, and line charts to choose from, well, to look at. Of course, the first thing you will want to do is to create your own dashboard, and I'll show you that in a second. All of those different charts and widgets are linked to that quick date selection in the upper right. So clicking on that red box basically allows you to switch your date range really quickly from last month to maybe last year, and again doing that, all of those charts and widget will refresh to show you that specific date range. So it makes it really quick to flip back and forth whatever range you want to see. We also support multiple stores. So if you have a multiple store setup within PowerLink, you can assign those stores by user and of course filter down to a specific store, and again those charts and widgets will refresh to show you that selection in the drop down of the store selection. So you can flip back and forth between those two stores, or if you want to see everything combined, which is the default option, select all stores and basically you have an overview of the whole business. If you have access to multiple dashboards, then you can quickly flip back and forth between all of those dashboards, and again the interface will refresh showing you whatever charts and widgets that were assigned to the dashboard. We also support drilling down into the data. So if a number looks odd or you have a question on how, in this example of open work order, how come do I have 106 items left on open work orders for last month, I can click on that number. PowerDB will open up a new tab listing all of those work order numbers and date created, work order amount, bill to business name, and so on. Basically, all of the work order fields are listed here in a raw data view, so you can look at what would make sense or what wouldn't make sense. If you want to work even further with that data, you can click the export to Excel, and then PowerDB generate an Excel spreadsheet for you with, again, that raw data. And within Excel, you can easily filter, sort, or do whatever you want with that data. Once you're done, you can save it, print it, email it, or just plain close it. That data will always be accessible from PowerDB. It can always be regenerated afterwards. And this drill down feature pretty much works with any kind of number you would want to see. If I scroll a bit further down, we have an inventory snapshot widget letting me know that I've got 129,000 parts in inventory. Clicking on that, again, generates the raw data. So basically all of my R numbers that are available, and again with the inventory number, year, model, and so on, basically all of the columns are the available parts detail. And again, I can click on that export to Excel to generate my inventory snapshot within an Excel spreadsheet, and then filter by part type or do whatever I want to do with that data. PowerDB, like we mentioned, is mobile friendly. So if I access PowerDB from my mobile device, basically everything from that dashboard's view is going to be replaced on the screen, everything one on top of the other. If I scroll, it makes a long dashboard, but from within your phone, you have access to the exact same information as you would have on your desktop. And again, that information will always be up to date, syncing live with your PowerLink SQL server. So even from your phone, even from outside of the office, you have access to live information through PowerDB. Building a dashboard is pretty straightforward. We have a dashboard builder through the settings, and basically it's just a matter of selecting the dashboard and then dragging and dropping whatever you want to see in that dashboard. In this example here, I might want to add a core revenue widget. So I'm gonna filter with the core keyword and then find the widget that I want, drag it, and basically drop it where I want to see it. And afterwards, just go down and it's save on that. And as soon as it is saved, if I flip back to my dashboard 1.18, my core widget, my core revenue widget will show here at the bottom, the fourth one I just dragged. So pretty straightforward to customize your dashboards. PB sales tools, we will cover sales monitoring, setting up sales goals, setting up your sales commission for your salesperson, the salesperson's dashboard, and the salesperson's overview. Through the user management, you can create any number of users, and we really recommend creating your salesperson. And then once created, clicking on the $ will bring you to the salesperson settings. The first tab is the sales monitoring. So essentially, in this interface, you can turn on or off different triggers to send you email automatically as the salesperson does something. The most popular one would be the selling price. So if you want to be notified when the salesperson decreases the selling price by 15% or more, you can input that 15 in the text box, and as a new order is created, whether it is a work order, a delivery ticket, or an invoices, every minute PowerDB pulls that into its own database and that order gets screened. And if something gets triggered throughout this interface, then an email is sent to whomever should be made aware of that just happening. Uh, Also, through this interface, you can set up or assign your commission for the salesperson. Commission are assigned to the salesperson with a date range, so a from date and a to date. So I'll show you in a minute just how we can build those different commissions. Next, we have the sales objective or sales goals. So essentially, by entering a year, you can define a goal for that specific salesperson. In this example here, my salesperson's been set with a 10,000 goal on a monthly basis. We also added an extra incentive, so there's a bonus amount that you can attach to the goal being met. So in this example here, I've set up a $100 bonus when my salesperson goes over that 10,000 mark. That $100 will be added to the commission calculation from your own perspective through the salesperson overview, and from the salesperson's perspective from its own salesperson dashboard, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. Going back to the commission, here's the commission builder interface where you can create any number of commission pretty easily. There's no limitation in that. We really pushed the envelope for the commission algorithm. So you can set up the standard percentage per type of sale. So if you want to pay your part sales 5%, your warranty sales 10%, and so on, you can easily do that. If you want to be a bit more creative or create more incentives for your salesperson, you can go by tiered level commission, letting the salesperson know that the percentage will be 4% for the first 1,000 in sales, then from 1,000 to 2,000 paying 5%, and so on, 2,000 to 3,000 paying 5.5. So PowerDB will take care of picking up the right percentage depending on how much the salesperson sold. If you want to set specific goals for your salesperson, like this warranty goal of set to 25,000, you can do that and then attach a specific percentage for that goal being met. And finally, we have filter. So if you want to be more specific when selling part, and by defining different filters like the business code of the customer, the category of the part type, days in stock, and then you can attach different percentages linked with those filters. Meaning a part being, in this example, let's say 365 days old or more, could pay 7% instead of 5%. And then the salesperson, knowing that when he sells an older part, older than a year old, he's going to get 2% extra on his sale, might change his focus on which part to pick up in the search results. And so on. You have the stock ticket list, stores list. If you have multiple stores, you could assign different percentages depending on the inventory store of the part. And another popular one would be the parts rating. So a part could be set to 3%, a B part could be set at 5%, and then a C part could be set at 7%, as an example. We really pushed the envelope far in the calculation of the commission algorithm. The main goal was to give the owner or the sales manager a bunch of different ways to create incentive for the salesperson without adding an extra load on the person that needed to do the calculation at the end of the week or at the end of the month. So since everything is built in the algorithm, just hit refresh and you'll get the exact number of what's owed to the salesperson. Having said that, I'm going to show you the salesperson dashboard. So here is what your salesperson will see logging into PowerDB. By default, salesperson will only see their own transaction and not company-wide information. In this example here, my salesperson knows that he is at 7,800 in sales for this month on a $10,000 goal. I'm at 69% of my goal, and everything underneath is broken down per type of sale. So the salesperson knows how much part, broker, warranty he sold throughout the month. Underneath is the actual commission payout. So based on whatever commission's been assigned to the salesperson, PowerDB again generates whatever's owed to the salesperson. And remember that the information in PowerDB is live. So as soon as the salesperson saves a new invoice, then the revenue goes up in that widget and the commission calculation goes up in that widget. So the salesperson has like constant feedback of everything that he sold within the PowerLink system. Underneath, you have a bunch of other information, open quotes, work order, delivery ticket values, and in the main interface, you have your actual open quotes list, open work order lists, open delivery ticket lists, and invoice list. So those can be used to work and follow up on specific quotes. As you can see here, I've got my business name, contact phone number on the different quotes that I saved within PowerLink. I can click on the detail to actually see the actual part type that was quoted, so I can easily follow up with that customer on that specific part without leaving PowerDB, without having to go and look up that quote in PowerLink. That interface also can be used to sort by total, so I can follow up on the most expensive quotes first to make more money. And I could also sort by business name or customer number to follow up on a customer that would have called twice and follow up on the two different parts with the same phone call. So this interface is very useful for salesperson to follow up on. As soon as my quote gets promoted to a work order, then the open quotes line will disappear and a new work order line will appear in their screen. So salesperson can kind of follow up on whatever's happening after the fact that they close the sales, follow up on the work order and the delivery ticket. And as for the sales manager or owner, you have access to the salesperson overview, which is another screen within PowerDB, essentially listing all of your salesperson one on top of the other and showing you their actual goal for whatever period you've selected, and their actual revenue, how well they are doing. So I can easily see that 2 of my salesperson are on track, 2 are a bit behind, and 1 is, I would say, way behind. And then you have the whole commission calculation here in all of those columns, split by type of sale, parts commission, broker commission, warranty commission, and so on, all the way to the overall total commission generated for you right away. I can drill down by salesperson to see a monthly detail. Since I'm showing the whole year, then I can see all of my months. And if I want to drill down even further more, I can go to the transaction level by clicking on the transaction detail icon, and then actually see for that specific invoice, my salesperson got $2. I can click to see the commission that was used to pay out this sales, those $40, which is the part commission that was set at 5% in that specific example. So it's a really easy way for you to see the overall forest and then drill down within a few clicks all the way to one specific tree in that forest. One last thing about the sales tools would be the email, the automatic email. So through the report and email management, you can easily select any of those 5 emails and basically just check who should receive that email and the frequency of it. So a daily email, a weekly email, a monthly email, and a yearly email. Just check the checkboxes, and as soon as tomorrow, those users will get the email in their inbox. The purchase overview interface will quickly show you how many vehicles you purchased, again linked with the date selection here. So if I switch to last month, it's going to tell me that I've purchased 53 cars. If I want to see last year's overview, select last year, and then everything refreshes and shows me that information. So last year I purchased 413 cars. The average year was 2009. The number of those cars that broke even is 145 in an average of 148 days. And then I've got my average salvage cost for those cars, the overall salvage costs, and then the average total costs, including fees and towing and everything else, with an overall total cost for those purchases, the number of parts created, available, the average parts created, and so on, all the way to the return on investment, the ROI for those purchases. So this revenue here that you see is revenue generated only by those 413 cars and not your overall revenue for the whole year. So that's how we can basically do the ROI calculation, the return on your investment calculation. So as you can see here, I'm still in the red by 56%. With that, you notice the icon, so I can, if you have multiple buyers, you can click on the buyer overview, and then those 313 cars are broken down per buyer, again with the exact same information all the way to the return on investment, so I can quickly see who's buying the most profitable car. Looks like my employee 37 is my best buyer if I look at the purchases last year. Same thing with the little hammer, which is the source overview. So if you are entering the source code within the vehicle record, then PowerDB will show you broken down per source code. Again, all of that information all the way to which sources is the most profitable, as you can see here, and who's the least profitable. So a nice way to see which auction you should go more often or less often. And the other one is the monthly summary. So basically letting you, giving you like a glimpse of the overall view per month, how many cars you've purchased per month, going back 12 months, and then all the way with your revenue generated the first month of purchase, the second month of purchase, and so on. This is a bit larger for my screen. So as you can see here, we can scroll down all the way to 12 month and plus 12 month. If you want to see this by quarter, you can click on the quarter, and then everything's going to be shown on a quarterly basis, and so on. So the purchase of overview, a very quick way to actually follow up on your purchases. PowerDB inventory tools. Everything that we saw so far is data that PowerDB captured and then showcased through all of those different charts and widgets and overviews. The PowerDB inventory tool will actually push back information into the SQL database in real time. Those tools includes the part location updates, the vehicle location updates, and the inventory audits. And then we have a couple of screens to see your part history, vehicle history, and to delete part. So this is the part location interface. Basically, it's really simple. PowerDB waits for a R number and then a location. And as soon as those two text boxes are filled, then it updates the SQL database. We have designed this interface to fit perfectly in a mobile device. So if I squeeze that to a cell phone basically, it's the exact same interface, and with your mobile device, you can easily either, if you have an Android device, flip to the camera to take a picture of the barcode and then come back to this interface, and it will input the barcode's value. Or what we recommend is getting a Bluetooth laser scanner and pair that Bluetooth device to your mobile device. Every mobile device now have Bluetooth capability, so it makes that process a lot more efficient to use a laser to scan the barcode, and then the information gets inputted in the text box. So as an example, I can input a R number and then a location, and basically I'm using the mouse and keyboard, but as you scan away, the cursor will move automatically to the location, and as you scan the location, the cursor will trigger automatically the update button. So basically 2 scans and the parts location has been updated in the database. As you notice below, you have the R number, the new location, also the timestamp. So PowerDB saves that update with the actual location and the previous location, which isn't shown in that history list, but we will see it in the part history. And it also logs the user that's logged in. So you have a trace of whomever updating the location of that part from the old location to the new location. There's also a little feature here with the little lock. So if I would have more than one part to store in the same location, I can scan the location once, click or tap that little lock, and now basically PowerDB only waits for our number to update to that locked location 111 in that example over here. So instead of scanning back and forth part 1 location, part 2 location, part 3 location, you scan the location once, scan all of those parts that needs to go into that location, and you're done. This, I guess, would be maybe useful also if you have a return location and then you want to move all of the return part into the return location. Then again, you could grab your device, input the location once, lock it, and just scan away all of those parts that needs to be moved into that location. Pretty straightforward. The next interface is the vehicle location. So essentially, we've designed, again, that interface to fit in a mobile, on a mobile device. The whole idea behind that interface is to allow the loader guy to basically input the stock ticket that he's picking up with the loader, and then we'll give the loader guy the year and the model, the color, the VIN of that vehicle he's picking up. And if we look at the bottom, he will also see the part that will be affected moving this car. So essentially all Y parts that are in the exact same location. As we see here, that list is showing the first 5 out of 84 parts. So as I move that part to maybe dismantling bay 2, it updates. Then my vehicle location has been updated in the database alongside those 84 parts. All of that in real time, even if the loader guy is way back there without any Wi-Fi, if there's good cellular coverage using his cell phone, everything is still updated in real time. The other tool is the inventory audit. So essentially, PowerDB's inventory screen has been designed to help recyclers deal with their physical inventory. Instead of having staff come in on a weekend, printing out countless pages of parts listing and having everybody running around making sure that everything is in its right place and writing down on the paper if a part's missing or stuff like that. Basically now you can grab your mobile device again and your scanner, scan the location, and PowerDB will list all the parts that should physically be in that location. In this example, I've got 5 parts that should physically be in that location. And again, by scanning those parts, PowerDB will mark them as being audited, again with the user that's logged in, and again with the timestamp. So that trace of that part being in that actual location is now listed in part history. As I'm scanning away those parts in that location, PowerDB marks those as audited, and so on. If I would scan a part that would be in a different location, then PowerDB will prompt me with a wrong location, asking me if I want to update to the new location, which is the one I'm auditing right now, and hitting save on that. Since it's physically there, then I've got a 6th part showing now in that specific location. I just fixed a physical error. Same way around, if that part wouldn't be in that specific location as I'm auditing, I can go all the way to the delete button. So when I click on that, PowerDB will ask me for confirmation and then remove that part from that location. And if I would go back into the database, into PowerLink, to search for that part won't come up, because it should be that location, but it isn't. And I don't want any salesperson to be able to put that part on a work order and having my staff running around trying to find it, and having maybe a pissed off customer because he won't get his part, and so on. So as I move along and input maybe a new location, I just finished this one and I'm gonna audit location 444, and it's telling me that I shouldn't have any parts in that location, but I'm looking on the shelf and actually have one part. When I scan it, PowerDB will prompt me with a deleted part prompt. I just scanned the part I deleted a few seconds ago, and asking me if I want to put the quantity back to 1 and update the location, which was 1D1002 to location 444. I hit save on that, and now the part is back showing audited user timestamp, everything. And now salesperson looking up, well, anybody looking up that part in the parting system will find that part, and now it is in its proper location. So like I said, instead of having staff come in on a weekend and paying them overtime, if you have a slow Friday afternoon, you can ask a couple of guys to just grab their smartphone and start scanning away a specific section of the warehouse. We have a report under the report section, inventory, then audit, where you can basically pull out any kind of information you would want to know concerning your inventory. So selecting your date range, maybe last week, all employee or filter down employees, all the way to PowerDB logs only, or if you want to mix and match PowerLinks log, you can check or uncheck that. If you want to look for a specific stock ticket list, a specific part type list, and the action type, then if you want to filter just location changes, quantity changes, store number changes, and so on, basically just select any kind of changes that you want to be reported on, and then click the show button, and a report will get generated for you with all of those. So it's pretty, you won't lose anything with that report and having staff using the inventory tools with all of that. I'm gonna open up the part history, which is where you can basically scan or enter any part. PowerDB will list all of the history of that part all the way to the vehicle acquisition. So all the vehicle dates will also be listed in that list, mixed and match throughout any type of activity that part could have got, like the price changes, parts being created, the location changes that we just did in this example, the inventory audit timestamp. If a part has been put on a quote, work order, delivery ticket, invoice, item return, everything's going to be listed in that part history list, listed chronologically. Same thing with the vehicle history, but with the vehicle dates only. Yeah, and the deleted part interface basically is a straightforward, really easy interface if you want to delete part just by scanning the R number or entering the R number, and then a reason for delete, which again can be locked. So if you want to enter a reason for delete being like scrap, you can then now scan all of the parts that you want to remove from your inventory, and PowerDB will input that scrap as a reason. So this would conclude the inventory tools for PowerDB. Thank you. The data management section, which will allow you to create or update part in your SQL server. This interface can look overwhelming, but it's fairly simple. At the top, you have a bunch of tabs. The main one is the import tab, where you will be able to create multiple types of imports, whether it is updating your actual parts, creating new parts from third-party suppliers, which you can define in that supplier tab. Next, you have the column mapping, which again is designed to basically map the Excel header columns to the proper SQL field in the database. In this example here, I've got an R number column, an inventory number column, a model year column in my spreadsheet, and then those are mapped to the proper database field using those drop downs. Once mapping is done, then it can be used and reused for multiple import when we go into the import tab. The other references tabs, supplier number, OEM number, model number, are filled by PowerDB when you provide a third-party spreadsheet with their own supplier number and you assign an inventory number to those supplier number. PowerDB will log and remember those matches between supplier number and inventory number. Same thing with OEM references and the model, the car's model references as well. Through the import tab, this is where you define what type of import you want to do. I prepared an example for this demo from the dashboard inventory snapshot. I used the dashboard drill down and then export to Excel feature to create basically a spreadsheet of my actual inventory, which I filtered for my 100s. So in a matter of 2-3 clicks, I get that data in Excel ready for me to use. And what I did is I went to my prices, created 2 new columns, inserted 2 new columns, which I named retail price and wholesale price, and basically renamed my actual retail price and wholesale price column to O underscore for original retail, original wholesale. So these are my actual prices in the database, and now I can easily write a formula based on those prices. Let's say I want to bump that price by 50%. So I just do my little formula times 1.5. If I want to bump my wholesale price by, let's say, $100, I can type the formula plus 100, and then my price has been updated. And now it's basically just a matter of double clicking, and boom, all our my formula are being copied all the way down. So basically I just repriced all my 100s, all my front ends based on those 2 criterias. I hit save on that, and now I can flip back to PowerDB, go to my import that I've already designed to update my prices. And as you can see, when I click on the file icon, I've got my whole history of previous uploads, dates, number of records, and all of that. And I can basically just add a new record to that import, select my file, and the file gets uploaded. PowerDB tells me the number of record in the file, and basically it's save on that. PowerDB will start processing that file in the background. I will receive 3 emails throughout that process, which will keep me posted on those 3 steps, which are the file analysis. So PowerDB just screens through that actual spreadsheet, making sure that every piece of data in every cell matches what it will get into the SQL database. The second step is to do the simulation. So basically we run those data throughout all of the store procedure in the SQL database all the way to the commit. So we don't commit those changes to the database, but we run everything through, and that also can create errors throughout the process. And if everything went well with the analysis and the simulation, then we actually do the live import, which updates all of those parts. Everything we do in PowerDB is logged, so I can always go back and see my import, the Excel spreadsheet file name, data, employee that did that, and at the bottom I've got all the detail. All of those 61 rows in that spreadsheet are listed here, and when I click the detail, I see the old values in the database and then the new value in the database. So as you can see, my retail price was updated from 1700 to 2000, and then this one was updated to that. So that would sum up the file import. It's a very, very powerful tool, and it will save you guys a lot of time managing your overall inventory. Thank you for watching this online demo. Here's a little summary of what we covered. With PowerDB, you get time-saving tool, which was our first main focus. Easy to use, one-click summarize dashboard to take control of your data. Tools to unleash your salesperson's potential and track their goals and commissions in real time. Alerts to stay on top of your staff's actions for immediate awareness. Reports emailed to you without lifting a finger. Vehicle profitability tool to make informed decision. Wireless inventory tool so that what happens out there happens in your YMS. Access everything from anywhere and from any device. And essentially it all comes down to how much is your time worth. Again, thank you very much for watching this online demo. We are looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you.